ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಕುಟ್ಟ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ 24/7. ಇದು ವಿಶ್ವಾಸದ ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬ.
My dear entrepreneurs and taxpayers, are your budget confusions chronic? Do not panic. This is Nammakudla Budget Clinic. Here we will present you our experts budget tonic. I am CA SS Nayak. On behalf of Nammakudla channel, I welcome all our viewers to this 304th episode of Business Tonic, Impact of Union Budget 2025 on Indian economy. We have three experts to deliberate on this topic. CA DB Mehta, economic expert. Before introducing in brief, I welcome you, sir, to the show. We also welcome CA Prashant GS, a practicing chartered accountant, young, enterprising, energetic, enthusiastic, practicing chartered accountant at Bangalore for the last 18 years. He is also state convener of economic cell BJP Karnataka. You are also welcome to this show. We have with us Rajesh Rao M, who is economic as well as banking expert. He has participated in our show maximum number of times on the topics like economy, union budget, state budget, MSMEs and many other episodes. You are also welcome to our show. As we know, on February 1st, 2025, our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has presented her 8th consecutive budget. It is a record in the history. As a women finance minister, she has presented this budget. A day prior to that, economic survey of 2024-25 was also tabled in Lok Sabha by the finance minister. Economic survey is the indicator of what we have done last year, where we stand now, and in which direction we are going. It is like a white paper, we can say, of the economy of the country. It is state of the economy that has been prepared by our Chief Economic Advisor, Shri Ananta Nageshwaran. To deliberate on this Union Budget 2025, as I already mentioned, we have three experts and resourceful resource persons in this studio. Viewers, you can ask any questions on Union Budget 2025 and its impact on Indian economy to 0824 411 6060, 0824 411 9090. First of all, let me introduce in brief CA DB Mehta, because he has also appeared maximum number of times in our Business Tonic. He has been giving regularly tonic on economy, union budget, as well as real estate matters. CA DB Mehta is a rank holder in BCom from Mumbai University. Then he has completed his chartered accountancy course at the youngest age of 21 years. Thereafter he has pursued ACMA, that is Cost and Management Accountancy. Then he has cleared the prestigious exam of India, that is IRS, and he has served for 10 years in indirect taxes, that service tax and central excise department for 10 years, and he has resigned such a prestigious and colorful and powerful job and ventured into Allegro Ventures. Presently, he is the chairman of Allegro Ventures Mangaluru, and he was CREDAI chairman of CREDAI Mangaluru as well as vice president of CREDAI Karnataka, and he is very smart. That's why he has been appointed as independent director of Mangalore Smart City Limited also. Sir, on behalf of our viewers, you are welcome to this
Thank you.
304th of Business Tonic, that is Union Budget 2024 and its impact on Indian economy.
Thank you.
As I have already mentioned, we have one more young, energetic, enthusiastic, resourceful resource person, CA Prashant GS. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and practicing at Bengaluru for the last 18 years. He is specialized in and expert in consulting on various matters relating to search and survey, both under the income tax as well as GST laws. He is engaged in advising businesses on matters arising under PMLA, Benami and black money laws. He has hit double century, that is presented more than 200 papers across India under these laws in various seminars, conferences and various professional platforms. He has served as a member of the Finance Advisory Committee of the Karnataka State Cricket Association and also served as a member of the Fee Fixation Committee at Adityuncharagiri University, Karnataka. Currently, CA Prashant is co-opted member of the Direct Tax Committee of ICAI New Delhi, member of the Regional Direct Taxes Advisory Committee, Karnataka, constituted by CBDT under the Ministry of Finance. He is also member of Central Taxes Committee and Banking and Finance Committee of FKCCI, Secretary of Bengaluru ITAT Bar Association. He is adding cherry to the cake. After seeing his accomplishments and scholastic personality, he has been appointed as State Convener of Economic Cell, BJP Karnataka, and is part of the policy and research team of BJP Karnataka. He regularly participates in discussions and debates on national televisions as a spokesperson of BJP. CA Prashant, you are also welcome to this show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful introduction.
Thank you. We should introduce wonderful people with wonderful introduction only. We have with us Rajesh Rao, M. He is economic and banking expert. He has 28 years of illustrious career as credit expert in banking, and he has resigned as credit manager of Canara Bank from Ahmedabad. He is a 5th rank holder in BSRB exam in 1983 and All India topper in Canara Bank officers exams also. Then he has involved in various social, spiritual and whatnot, all Adhyatmika activities in and around Dakshina Kannada as well as Uttara Kannada districts. Presently he is the managing trustee of Sri Vanadurga Temple, Vijay, Mangaluru. He has also appeared in maximum number of times in our business TONIC on the topics union budget, state budget, economy, MSME and what not. So his special achievement is he has written numerous letters to PM Modi ji offering various suggestions on Indian economy, government policies and MSMEs. Many of those suggestions have been implemented too. We are very happy for that. He is a prolific speaker with long-term vision on India's dream to become Vishwa Guru. So, Rajesh Rao M, you are also welcome to our show. Union Budget 2025, as I have already mentioned, our FM has presented the budget on February 1st. Prior to that, a day prior to that, economic survey has also been presented. As I have already mentioned, economic survey is the indicator of what we did in the past, where we stand and which direction we are going. CADB Mehta, can you just brief in this geopolitical global turmoil, slowdown in the economy across the globe, Trump coming back to the power in US, inflationary situation and global slowdown, where India stands and what are the gist of economic survey 2025. Can you just brief?
So it's a challenging economic situation, and the budget has tried to protect the downside, and there is very limited upside that can be done, and that's why if you see the GDP growth forecast is around 6.4 to 6.8% at the real GDP level and around 10.1% at the nominal GDP level. The challenges are very obvious. A, geopolitical tensions are continuing with multiple wars in several parts of the world. The inflation scenario has not calmed down, which was expected to calm down some time back post the withdrawal of the liquidity booster all over the world, but that has not happened. Even now 10-year US Treasury is giving you 4.6% yield, which is again very close to the record highs. In the European segment, again it is 10-year bond yields are giving you around close to 4.8%, which is very close to again record highs. But these countries are used to giving bond yields of roughly around 2.5%. So it is twice the yield that bonds gave. Now bonds are nothing but a reflection of the given inflation situation. So that's point one. Fortunately for India, our inflation rates are coming down. It has peaked out at close to around 7.5%, and now we are close to retail inflation is at around 5.2%. Wholesale inflation is around 2% or sub 2%. So inflation for India as of now is not a big worry, and that was reflected by the recent monetary policy also, where the rate was reduced by 25 basis point. So challenges are there. The unpredictability of the US policy under the Trump administration is going to be a very big challenge for India. Our exports, especially merchandise export, is hardly growing at 1 or 2%, and in the high tariff scenario, if it happens for Indian exports to the US, which is most likely going to happen. Because Trump had made an announcement 2 days back that he will be bringing in an ordinance where he will be charging import duties at the same rate as the other country is charging. So India
tit for tat.
tit for tat. So we all know that India's customs duties are pretty high in various sectors
Now
to
it
protect
is
the
reduced.
domestic. It's reduced, but it's still pretty high compared to the global custom tariffs. So if such high tariffs are imposed by the US, our exports to the US can become a big challenge, and that's one policy issue which is being partly addressed in the budget. So to give fair policy perspective, India is geared up to address this issue. Downside is not much for India because the GDP growth which has been projected is hardly 6.6, 6.7 on an average, and we should be able to achieve that.
Okay. CA Prashant. ಜಗವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಲಗಿರಲು ಅವನೊಬ್ಬ ಎದ್ದ ಅವನೇ ಭಾರತವೆಂಬ ಪ್ರಬುದ್ಧ. ವಿ ಸೇ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದ ಗ್ಲೋಬ್, global average growth rate is 3.2%. In spite of all these odds, in financial year 24-25, as per economic survey as well as affirmed in our budget also, the growth rate is 6.4%. That is double the global average. And recently in monetary policy on this Friday, on 7th Feb, RBI has affirmed the growth rate in 25-26 as 6.7%. Of course, in the budget, they have kept the range between 6.4 to 6.8. 6.7% is RBI's projected growth rate. That's why 25 basis points they have reduced this repo rate after 5 years to contain the inflation. So how India could sustain in spite of all odds across the globe? Can you just brief?
See, firstly, we have to look at it from the global positioning point of view as to where India stands today. And India being the fifth largest economy, which we are moving towards becoming the fourth largest economy, if possibly third also by 28-29 or maximum by 2030, which is the resolve, because currently our GDP as on 10th January is at about $4.27 trillion, whereas Japan is at 4.39 trillion and Germany is at 4.92. Definitely, to a large extent, we have a lot of catching up to do with China and US because they are way ahead of us in terms of the economy. But if you look at the growth rate, India is projected to grow at say 6.4 to 6.8%, Japan at 1.1% and Germany at 0.8%. It gives us the hope that you are in the right direction in terms of the growth, and keeping in mind the diverse factors that India has got, right from population to demographic challenges to linguistic challenges to the population of taxpayers to the economy. You look at it, 7.74 crore people pay taxes, which has to subside for 140 crore people. And out of the 7.74 crore taxpayers also, if you have to bring it down to saying effective taxpayers or people who are making a substantial contribution, it comes down by over 80%, which means you're left with about 1 crore of people contributing in direct taxes to the welfare of 140 crore people. Considering this, growth at 6.4 to 6.8% is phenomenal. And also, to address the concerns which Mr. Mehta also allayed, saying that how it's going to impact based on US wanting to levy some sanctions. Yes, definitely to some extent exports may take a hit, but the emphasis in the current year has been internal funding. Government also wants to set up specific funds for deep tech, for startups, so that the Atmanirbharta in manufacturing also is being enhanced, so that even though some tariffs or tariff war is going to come up with US, India will be able to sustain itself because of the robust skill force we have got, the skill sets which most countries don't possess, the multitasking and ability to handle complex positions. So therefore, and not to forget the contribution of our PM Modi ji in terms of how India is now being looked at as the leader of the world, and the rapport that Mr. Modi shares with Trump will definitely ensure that India will not be shortchanged in its relationship with US.
Okay. Rajesh Rao, as our Prashant has mentioned, we may any time overtake Germany and Japan. From 5th position, we can come to 3rd position. Is it because of we are running fast, or Germany and Japan, they are stagnant? So we should win the race by going fast rather than others are stagnant. If we just move little bit ahead, we may come to the better position. What is your opinion about it?
See, if you see the history of Indian growth economic growth, on an average we had 0.5 trillion, 0.4 to 0.5 trillion every year. So this year, last year we have added it as $3.7 trillion. Now we are targeting for 4.1 by this year end.
4.27 already January 10th he told.
Okay, that is again there is some dispute. Some say it's 4.1, 4. That is true. Okay. So now every year if you add half a trillion, so to reach our 5 trillion target, we need another 2 years, 2-3 years. So the next target we can fix at 27 or 28, we can reach, we can become number 3. So our target was 27, we should have, by 25 we should have 5 trillion, by 27 7 trillion, some targets were there, but you should postpone it by another 2-3 years.
Because of COVID and other slowdown.
No, even the slowdown things are working now. So GDP growth, if you see the growth rate of other countries, for example 1 and 2, America it is, China it is 4%, America it is 2% plus. All other countries of the world are -2, sub 2. So India is the only nation which has maintained this average growth rate of 7 plus for the last 10 years, if you look at, except for the COVID period of 1 or 2 years. So this tendency is going to still take pace in future also. It will not come back. Even though there is global slowdown, because as Prashant sir told me, the demand is still there in our economy. You see the middle class people, there is a shift from the lower middle class to the upper middle class, similarly from the lower class to the middle class. So the shift is happening for the last 10 years. So this nobody is observing it.
Correct.
Even middle class now.
But still 80 crore people they are taking ration now.
That is rural area is the neglected sector for the last 70 years. 70 crore people, 80 crore people neglected for the last 70-75 years. That
82 crore it seems now.
That is the standard. That is the standard. To change that, you need another 15 years. And in that direction, for the first time in the last 75 years, as you told, this 80 crore people, some foundational changes are being improved, launched through various missions. So many seeds mission, cotton mission, vegetable mission, they are all basic things. They are all contributing to the economy, food inflation of the economy. So all those things are contributing to food inflation, the production is being enhanced. It is targeted like that. So to reach those targets, you need another 5 years. All these missions are policy matters. To implement it, you need the support of the states.
Short-term gain for long-term, short-term pain for long-term gain.
So another 5 years you have to watch this economy. If the same policies are continued, then we can say that we are going to be a stable economy forever.
Okay.
See, I will
Able and stable.
I'll add one more perspective to this, economy measured in dollars term. For India to achieve 10% nominal GDP year after year is given for the next 4 to 5 years. But when you convert it into dollars,
now rupee is weakened now.
The real value of rupee, as assessed by the International Monetary Fund, is 108 to a dollar.
Oh my God.
We are still at 87 or 88. Okay, so the possibility of rupee depreciating in the next 1 year or 2 years will be much higher. And when the GDP in rupee terms is converted in the dollar terms, in the scenario where rupee is depreciating, the growth which is 10.1% in GDP in the rupee term will not be 10.1% in dollar term, because the depreciation of rupee against global currencies will have a negative impact. So I feel that rupee will depreciate at a faster rate compared to the global currencies, and we may not be adding more than 7% in dollar terms in the next 3 or 4 years. So that's why the $5 trillion economy may get postponed by a year. The achieving $5 trillion target will have to be, it will postpone by a year than what the targets government has set for.
That means which year?
According to me, $5 trillion we will reach in 2028-29, not before that.
One more further extension you have given.
Yeah, 1 year.
So one positive thing about this weakening of rupee, compared to all other national currencies of the world, India has maintained its strength still. All other nation currencies are much more weaker than India.
That is what is said. No,
Indian
rupee is
currency.
overvalued.
That is a positive thing.
Okay. CA Prashant, now in spite of all this situation, there is robust tax collection, both indirect taxes as well as direct taxes. How could we achieve this? And we have overshoot by the target of 2024 budget, and there is more than 16% growth in direct taxes also. How it is possible? As you already told, only 7.4 crore people, they are tax filers, not taxpayers. And effective taxpayers, seriously, that means not small amount, serious, that is only 1 crore. In spite of all this, how it is possible?
See, there are two aspects to this. Apart from individual tax filers, you'll also have the corporate tax coming in. The corporate tax kitty has gone up, and the public sectors have also done extremely well, which is why RBI also gave the government so much of dividend to a lot of these public sector undertakings. They were able to dole out dividends to the government because of the robust sales which has taken place on various factors. So if you look at the direct tax collection, which has gone up significantly, one thing you have to understand is we are moving towards being a tax compliant society. We have a lot more to do, I agree, but we are moving towards a situation wherein people are voluntarily ensuring compliance, paying taxes, declaring their incomes properly, and this also has a linkage to GST growth, because the moment the information is being shared between CBIC and CBDT, and when GST collections are going up month on month to record highs, wherein the consumption is going up, and as a result of the consumption and money being, churned out in usage by various mechanisms, when the GST is going up month on month, consequently, due to the compliance regime in GST, the turnovers getting captured for the income tax, even those getting captured, and people are coming out and declaring incomes appropriately now, because you have a very favorable tax regime now. Because under the new scheme also, the rate of tax, excepting for people earning more than 2 crores, where they're at 39%, or else the average tax rate which a individual pays after deductions would be about 25 to 26%. So therefore, people are willing to comply with the laws more than ever, because they are looking at development which is happening, and robust banking measures wherein the RBI is able to maintain its rates for so long. We are not dipping in to our savings so as to say that we are not overly and you look at what has happened in the last 3 years also. What was the home loan rates during peak COVID? They were giving at 7% only, and now, despite a lot of challenges, the home loan rates now hover about between 8 to 8.5%, which means despite the economic challenges faced by about 80 crore people in the country, where the access to basic food was also not there for them, despite that, we are able to maintain this particular stream, and as a tax compliant society, we are contributing to the exchequer, which in turn is resulting in government providing proper subsidies and welfare measures. And by any welfare measure, if it's giving more income in the hands of the people who are at the end of the spectrum, that is probably, as we say, the last man standing, Antyodaya. If he's got more money in his hand, what is he going to do? He may save a little bit, but definitely he will spend because he's not used to having money to spend. The moment he spends, against the consumption. Once that cycle repeats itself, we are definitely moving ahead in the right path, is what I believe in.
Okay, very nicely you have explained. CADB Mehta. In this budget, FM has announced bumper for the middle class, especially the tax, basic tax exemption limit has been enhanced to 12 lakhs in case of other than salary, and salaried and pensioners up to 12.75 lakhs. As per the statistics given, around 1 lakh crore has been foregone. In spite of this foregoing 1 lakh crore, the projected direct tax collection for the next year is 25.20 lakh crore. So how this higher achievement is possible by foregoing 1 lakh crore?
See, let me break up your question into two parts. One is, what is the thought process behind giving exemption till 12 lakhs or 12.75 lakhs rupees annually from the income tax? A, the urban consumption has shown a trend, a downward trend for the last 1 year. And the only way the urban consumption can be propped up is by putting more money in the hands of urban middle class. So that was a big challenge which the economy was facing. That's point one. So by putting more money as tax relief in the hands of the urban middle class, the government is trying to revive both the economy and the urban consumption. We all know that the multiplier effect of money is different in different types of expenditure. When you put money in the hands of the urban middle class, the multiplier effect is 3. Whereas when you invest in capital infrastructure, the multiplier effect is 2 for that money in a given year. So with the 3 multiplier effect,
Which is the 3, which is the 2?
so this 1 lakh crore which is given as a tax exemption, which will be putting money in the hands of the middle class, it will add to 3 lakh crores in terms of the GDP over the year.
How come?
Now say suppose someone wants to take a housing loan using this 1 lakh extra saving. He will be given 5 to 6 times more money when he puts in 1 lakh rupees from his pocket. Or someone wants a car to be bought against that 1 lakh amount. He will be given 6 to 7 times more loan.
Correct.
Based on that 1 lakh rupees.
And again GST collection will be there.
And then what happens is consumption cycle is very fast. So like you are given 1 lakh, out of which 20,000 you spend in consumption. That money goes immediately to factories, factory laborers, and the cycle is very short.
Some part will go for SIP savings.
Savings
also.
and all that. Okay, so as far as the economic contribution of this 1 lakh crore is fantastic. There was a political thought process also, because middle class was feeling as if it was overtaxed and neglected by the government. So that's been taken care of, and possibly
Then they could accomplish the same by Delhi results.
Delhi results also show the effect of the tax policy. Okay. Now, whether these revenue figures projected in the budget, whether they are achievable or not, I have my doubts there. Why I have my doubts, I will tell you.
What is your projection then?
See, corporate tax, they have projected at 10.4% growth.
Okay.
Okay, if you see last 2 quarters corporate results which have been declared by the listed companies, which can be considered as a barometer for all the other companies.
Our chief economic advisor
the
says corporates are swimming in profit.
The revenue growth in the last quarter is only 7%. The profit growth is only 6%. So if your profit growth is 6% in the last quarter and a previous quarter profit growth was 7%, revenue growth was 8%. So quarter after quarter you are seeing a decline in both the revenue and the profit growth.
Okay.
If your profit is growing at 6 to 7%, how will you grow your corporate tax at 10.4%? That's the question number one. Question number two, if corporates are slowing down in profits, definitely the wages and the salaries will also not grow as it was growing in the previous years. It will slow down. MSMEs will also feel a pinch in the profitability.
Correct.
The last year, that is the current financial year income tax growth is 20%, with the very high level of income growing in the current year. Next year, I don't feel that the income of the individuals will grow at 20%, may grow at 15%. Whereas if you add this 1 lakh crore as a revenue loss to the total revenue figures, income tax has to grow at 22.4% in the next year. Now when profitability is coming down for even corporates and individuals, how will the individual income tax grow at 22.4%?
Correct.
When the current year we are only achieving 20%?
And we have revised also tax rates.
So according to me, we will be running short of achieving tax revenue budget estimates by at least 3 to 4%.
Okay. Let me check with Prashant your this. Before that, let us attend one caller. Hello.
This is Dr. Devdas Rai, sir.
Dr. Devdas Rai, you are welcome to the show. Can you ask your question?
My question is, what is the impact of the union budget on the health sector?
Ah.
What are the various things which are maybe positive or negative on the health sector? Health. That's my question. Thank you.
Health sector is very healthy now because some additional medical seats and other things they have given. Who will this, Rajesh? Okay. Yeah.
The first thing is they are going to open daycare cancer centers in 200 district hospitals. Out of 800 or 700 odd districts, in 225% of districts will be daycare centers, cancer free treatments. Then 10,000 medical seats. In the next 5 years, 75,000 is the target.
Okay.
So during the last 10 years, we have added 1.10 lakh seats. So on that I
when you are announcing additional medical seats means additional infrastructure is also to be created.
Yes.
Then again that additional capex will also be there, private side. Ayushman Bharat covering.
I can add one point.
Yeah, please.
Definitely, if you look at Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman, 12,500 crores has been earmarked for that, for Poshan and Anganwadi, Saksham Anganwadis, wherein it will provide nutritional support to 8 crore children, 1 crore mothers, and 20 lakh adolescent girls, which focuses on lactating women, adolescent girls and children, which means the basic health infrastructure itself is going on, and by bringing in the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, wherein about 9,406 crores has been earmarked for that, there is very due emphasis on health sector and also for flexible pool for health system strengthening and national health program. They have earmarked about 30,000 crores, which means there is due emphasis on most sectors in this budget, especially on healthcare sector, because we have been working not only in the budget, prior to the budget also, the objective was to bring in anybody over 70 years of age into the insurance Ayushman Bharat scheme, and there was no limit on the income earning ability there. Every citizen of the country who's above 70 years of age is eligible for PM Ayushman Bharat scheme. So therefore, health has been given prominence here because we know health is wealth. So therefore, due prominence has been given to health along with education, other sectors. Other sectors we can discuss. But now that the caller had specific question on health, I am very happy to say that enough has been done, and therefore we can expect much more. Because even at a district hospital levels, we are wanting to have daycare centers for cancer patients also. Apart from 200 cancer centers, even daycare centers are being hand. And one more important thing in terms of technology is the broadband connectivity to all primary health centers in rural areas. So what happens? You can also have this digital health mission wherein by doctors consulting patients in rural areas, sitting in urban areas through usage of technology, which means the best of the expertise can be got to the poorest of the poor in the villages also. So therefore, it's a very good budget for the health because about 1,90,000 crores has been earmarked. Definitely a very good budget in terms of the healthcare sector is concerned.
That is healthy in health sector. You want to add something?
There are two more points. One is the Ayushman Bharat coverage to 1 crore gig workers. And they are the delivery boys, you can say in simple terms. So that is a social welfare measure. Then second thing is 36 life-saving drugs or medicines, they have been exempted from customs duty.
Correct.
And 6 medicines have been reduced from 15% to 5% duty. And 37 medicines and 13 new patient assistance programs in exempt list, 0% customs duty. So in this, and bulk drugs manufacturing, there also it is 0% BCD. So these are the some of the things.
That means it is a healthy budget for health sector also. And as I have already...
I'll just add two things.
Okay.
One is the 11% higher allocation for healthcare shows government seriousness because the expenditure increase is only 7.4% in the budget when you look at the total expenditure. So healthcare has got 11%, which is a good, maybe little short of the expectation, but still it's a good growth, 11%. And the other factor is now the healthcare has become one of the most important focal parameter of Viksit Bharat. So the minute it comes in the focal parameter, what happens is various policies and various health parameters will be evolving in policy terms, which will, like health is wealth. But if health is wealth, then it should be in the focus area of the government.
Correct.
This is the first budget where health has become the focus area in Viksit Bharat. So a lot more will happen.
To increase the, Mr. Prashant, to increase the doctors patient ratio also, now these additional medical seats also they are going to facilitate.
Yes.
10,000 in next year and 75,000 in next 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah,
So,
you can.
best thing is the infrastructure will go ahead, will get a boost because of this, and the number of doctors coming out, which means the poorest of the poor also will have access, because once the urban-rural divide is coming down in India now, especially in many states, people are wanting to go back to their roots, set up good hospitals in the rural areas where you can provide the required care to the people there. Because you have the technology at your doorstep. And one more important thing in the healthcare sector is the finance minister spoke about Heal in India, wherein medical tourism. People from across the world are looking at India as a destination for healthcare because it's definitely affordable and world-class facilities are there. Affordable, at the same time having world-class facilities. So Heal in India and medical tourism will definitely be a boost to the economy, both in terms for healthcare and also the allied sectors such as tourism and infrastructure.
Excellent presentation. Now let us come to the capex part. The most favorite topic in budget of NDA since 2014 is capex. Before coming to this capex, we will attend one more caller is waiting. Hello.
Hello.
Who's speaking?
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Who's speaking?
I'm Sachindra speaking from Mangalore.
What is your name?
Mangalore.
Satyadev.
Sachindra.
Sachindra, okay, from Mangalore. Can you ask your
Sachindra.
question?
Sachindra.
Okay, Sachindra from Mangalore. What are you doing?
I actually retired from KIOCL.
Okay, retired from KIOCL, public sector. Can you ask your question, please?
Medical department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please,
See, nowadays, now the health minister has told that prices have reduced for the medicines. Whether it will be reduced for which type of medicine, only they are thinking. Actually, in India, most of the costly medicines are without bill. It is coming to India.
Without
and
bill.
whatever they have got control. And another thing I will tell you, for the stunt also they are not giving receipt.
For which they don't give
It
receipt?
will be coming as a most of the things.
I think your question can be answered
We
in
are
two
putting for
parts.
stunt
One-
right now.
Yes, sir. Your question can be answered in two parts.
And
One,
another
insofar
one
as
question,
reduction in
yeah.
prices is concerned, you have a lot of boost for the generic drugs manufacturing,
Correct.
which is, if you look at Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendras, the prices of the essential drugs is almost 1/10 of the what the MNCs are charging here. So therefore, due emphasis will be given to open more and more PM Jan Aushadhi Kendras wherein people can get good medicines at affordable prices, so that the common man is not burdened with extra prices because of the drug prices there. And secondly, we have a robust mechanism with Medical Council and Narcotic and Drugs Department wherein they have strong mechanisms in place to ensure that any medicines coming to India go through the proper testing mechanisms and then proper duty has been collected. Maybe you have found out one or two instances where something is not right. Definitely, we will take it up as a suggestion. We will pass it on to the respective government department to ensure that any possible leakage in terms of quality would not be tolerated, especially in our government. We take a lot of pride in ensuring that the health of our citizens is of prime importance, and we will definitely take it up as your suggestion, and I will pass it on to the relevant ministry concerned, saying these are the concerns the general public has got in terms of this. So definitely, yes, your concern is valid in terms of not having bills, but we must also, as buyers, insist from when you're purchasing from any hospital or bulk drug dealer, saying that we insist on a GST bill. Let them, it can be a B2C sale for them, but please insist on a bill so that your hard-earned money does not go only to the out of the system, but it gets back into the system and it's available for distribution later on. And on a personal note, because you said KAOCL, I want to say that my father worked for 28 years in KAOCL, and we were also in Bangalore for some part. So there
Your
is some
father's
personal
colleague
connection
then.
with KAOCL.
Your father's colleague, you should be happy that you can tell your father,
He's
Sachidananda
no
has
more, but
called.
definitely. My father is no more, but I'm
okay.
sure we will get in touch with the caller also.
Okay.
I'll just add one more thing to
Ah.
what Mr. Prasanna has said.
Ah.
See, the health sector in India is much, much better compared to even the Western world.
Mm.
In US,
Mm.
if you want an appointment of a doctor for even a regular, say, throat infection or some small other illness, minimum wait period is 1 month.
Oh my God! By that time, your
Minimum
throat
wait
infection
period
will
is
go away.
it will go away.
Mm.
And in the US,
Yeah.
the other problem is without prescription, you don't get any drugs also at the counter.
Okay.
See, here in India, at least if you go to a pharmacy, you will get antibiotics also without prescription. Not a healthy practice, but you will get it. But in the US, you will not get it.
Medical shop
Yeah.
owner himself is a doctor there.
So, if you have any serious health condition, it takes anywhere between 1 month to 3 months to get
But
your appointment
emergency
with a doctor.
cases, they admit immediately.
Yeah, so say like if you have a heart pain, you will have to wait for 3 months.
Huh?
You get a heart attack,
Ah.
you will be admitted in emergency.
Okay. So heart attack, emergency.
Yeah,
Heart pain is not an
not an
emergency.
emergency.
Then BCD, that basic custom duty reduction is also done in health sector, no?
That is for the 37 life-saving drugs. Sir.
Correct, correct.
36 life-saving drugs
Mm.
and 37 medicines and 13 new patient assistance programs. That is also 0% duty.
Mm.
And for 6 medicines, they have reduced from 15% to 5%.
5%.
They are all essential, life-saving drugs there.
Okay. Lot of initiatives there.
And bulk drugs manufacturing. that
But
is also
recently,
0%.
for the last 10 years, Mr. Prashant, this stunt cost that has been reduced, lot of initiatives has been taken up by this government. Correct, no?
So please come again. I couldn't hear the question properly.
For the last 10 years, lot of initiatives have been taken up by the government, reduction in the cost of stunt which they are putting for heart, and lot of cost, 1/10 or 1/4, like that. Lot of initiatives they have taken up for reduction in this critical illness cases also.
Yes, because the emphasis has always been on health for all, and that no poor person in the country should suffer because of lack of healthcare facilities. And it should not so happen that only the rich have access to stents and the poor will have to give up their life. Definitely not. Therefore, the government hospitals today are in the stage where they're getting modernized with CSR funds also. In private public partnership, they're ensuring that the poor get best of the world class facilities. For example, if you take in Bangalore, Jaydeva Institute of Cardiology is one of the most sought out centers because you have the best of the experts who are handling there, and it's a government institution. So therefore, AIMS New Delhi, wherein if anybody at every stage, you take any VIP, you definitely go to AIMS first before any private hospital, because you have the best of the doctors available in government setup also. It's just that we have to ensure that the infrastructure is available equally for our rural brothers and sisters, wherein they should not have to travel long distances to avail of quality healthcare. And this government is doing everything within its ambit to ensure that healthcare is there for every citizen of the country.
Okay, very nice.
Aims in every state.
Now they have announced aims in every state, no? Aims
Yes, and in most states, it's also come up, and wherever it's not come up, definitely the plan is to ensure that in the next within the next 5 years, all those things would be definitely be implemented.
Okay. Now let us come to your favorite subject, Mr. Mehta. That is capex. See, since 2014, the most favorite investment by NDA is for capex. Earlier, lot of subsidies and freebies. Of course, now again freebie competition has started. That is, let us leave it apart. But more emphasis has been given on capex. This year, also 10 point. One more caller is there. Whenever we come to capex, lot of callers. Let me attend. No problem. Okay. Hello.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್, ನಾನು ರಾಮರಾವ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು $1 is equal to ₹85. What will be the effect on Donald Trump on Indian economy? Next, now some of the Indians are coming back from USA. Newly born child after 20th February will not get US membership. Naturally, many Indians will come back to India. So regarding employment opportunities, latest ESS decision, ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ವರವೋ ಶಾಪವೋ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಉದಯವಾಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜನತಾವಾಣಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಬಿ ಶಿವರಾಮ್ ರೈ of BC Road has written that if the income of a person is rupees 12,075,000, if it is exceeds even by 1 rupee, he has to pay rupees 60,000. Is it correct?
No. The marginal relief is there. That I will explain.
In Delhi election, BJP has won. Is it the effect of the budget, union budget? Next, will there be a boost to MSME and GST? Thank you, sir.
Okay. MSME and GST. Okay. Now certain things we have covered. Before that, marginal relief. Can Prashant cover?
Yes.
Because there is a myth in taxpayers, when the income exceeds 12 lakhs, even if 10,000, they have to pay 60,000 plus on 10,000, 15%. That's 61,500. It is a myth. There is a marginal relief. Now, can you explain about that marginal relief?
See what happens. What really margin relief is, when you have a basic exemption limit. Say in this case 12 lakhs for non-salaried and 12.75 lakhs for salaried individuals.
Correct.
If your income exceeds that number by a small number, for example, say it becomes 12,85,000, your tax payable will not be on the entire 1285, but only on the additional 10,000, which means marginal relief up to 60,000 is available, which means in the normal situations, just because your income goes up by 1,000, your tax cannot be 81,000, your tax can maximum be 1,000, which means because your income has exceeded the maximum amount not chargeable to tax by a particular sum, the tax cannot be more than that. So up to 60,000 rupees generally you will get the marginal relief. Which means, see, if your income is 13 lakhs, you will not be asked to pay 75,000 tax, but maximum you will be asked to pay 25,000 tax, because that is the maximum amount. It is crossed. More than 1275, say till 13 lakhs, it's increased by only 25,000. So therefore, you get marginal relief of the balance, and what you may end up paying is only 25,000 as against the actual calculation of about say 75,000.
Okay.
So therefore, this is definitely a myth. If it increases by 1 rupee, don't worry, you will pay only tax of 1 rupee.
Okay.
Not more than that.
So,
I'll just add one more statement to what has been explained. See, the maximum advantage what you get in terms of tax relief compared to the previous year is up to 12.75 lakhs, which is around 80,000 that's been worked out.
correct.
Okay, but if your income is say 15 lakhs, and if you compare the tax saving, it only comes to 35,000 because of this marginal relief factor.
Correct.
So what happens is about 12 lakhs or 12.75 lakhs up to 18 lakhs, the marginal relief is lesser than at 12.75 lakhs. Only after 18 lakhs your marginal relief further increases. So if you are earning 24 lakhs, you are saving 1,10,000 tax compared to the previous year,
Correct.
which is higher than the basic 12 lakhs.
Correct.
So the people who are in the income group between 1275 and say 15, they feel that we are not getting as much relief compared to the previous year as people who are earning 12.75 lakhs. So that's the basic grievance.
We cannot make one size fit for
Yeah.
all.
So that's
there is always grievance whenever you do anything.
Yeah.
So that we cannot. Now our grievance of our channel is you have not given break. So now it is time for the break. Let us have quick break. ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಕೆ ಬಾದ್.
ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 5ರಿಂದ 28ರವರೆಗೆ ಲಭ್ಯವಿರುವ ಫ್ಯಾಬುಲಸ್ ಫೆಬ್ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ಈ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿಯ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣವೂ ಮಿನುಗುತ್ತಿರಲಿ. ಚಿನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಳ್ಳಿಯ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಶುಲ್ಕಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ 70% ವರೆಗೆ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ.
ವಜ್ರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಟ್ಗೆ ಫ್ಲಾಟ್ ರೂಪಾಯಿ 7,000 ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ 1 ಗ್ರಾಂ ಚಿನ್ನದ ನಾಣ್ಯ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ವಾರ ಲಕ್ಕಿ ಡ್ರಾ ಮೂಲಕ 20 ಅಪ್ರಿಲಿಯಾ ಸ್ಕೂಟರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಗೆಲ್ಲುವ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕ್ರಾಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿನ್ ಚಿನ್ನಾಭರಣದ ಖರೀದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ಗ್ರಾಂಗೆ ರೂಪಾಯಿ 150ರವರೆಗಿನ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗೆಲ್ಲಿರಿ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಭೀಮಾ ಮಳಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲಭ್ಯವಿದೆ. ಷರತ್ತುಗಳು ಅನ್ವಯ.
ಈ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಸತ್ಯವಾದ ಫಲವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಲು ದೀಪಂ ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚುವ ಎಣ್ಣೆ.
ದೀಪಂ ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚುವ ಎಣ್ಣೆ, ಸತ್ಯಾಂಶವಿದ್ದರೆ ಫಲವು ನಿಶ್ಚಿತ.
ಸಮಾರಂಭ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೇನು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸಲು ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸಿದ್ಧ. ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ಗಳ ಮಹಾ ಸಂಗ್ರಹ. ನಿಮಗೊಪ್ಪುವ ಉಡುಗೆಗಳು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್. ನೀವಿಟ್ಟ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ. ನೂತನ್ ಕ್ಲೋತ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಮಡಂತ್ಯಾರು.
ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಪ್ಯಾಚಸ್, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರು ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್. ಇದು ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಿ ಕೇರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕ್ಲಿನಿಕ್. ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ರೀತಿಯ ತ್ವಚೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಕ್ಯೂ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಲೇಸರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಲನೋ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಥೆರಪಿ ವಿಧವಾದ ಅತಿ ನವೀನ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ಸ್. ಅನುಭವ ಪಡೆದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್.
ವಿ ಕೇರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಲೇಸರ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಪೀಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಪ್ ಟು 30% ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕೇರ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
84ರಿಂದ 50 kg ಬಂದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೂ ಸಣ್ಣಗೆ ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್. ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಹೆಲ್ದಿನೂ ಅದೇ. ನೀವು ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಏನಾದರೂ ಸೈಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಖಂಡಿತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಫ್ರೀ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋ ನಂಬರ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಸುವರ್ಣಾವಕಾಶ. ರೋಹನ್ ಸಿಟಿಯ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಖಾತರಿಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಂದು 50 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಹೂಡಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾಳೆಯಿಂದಾನೇ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು 32,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಆದಾಯ. 75 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಹೂಡಿಕೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು 47,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಆದಾಯ ಗಳಿಸೋದು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ. ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಮಳಿಗೆ ರೋಹನ್ ಸಿಟಿ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್, ವಿಜಯ್, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಲೋರ್. ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಾಗಿ ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಿ 9844490100.
Innovation is the ability to change, to transform, and academic innovation begins here. We are at the forefront of excellence, creativity, technology. We create leaders that pursue their vision with a passion that knows no bounds, leaders that enthrall. Creating the future is one decision away. Are you ready to transform? Are you ready to transcend even the furthest of horizons? Where is your horizon? We are Todar.
The beginning of everything.
ಮೈ ಲಾರ್ಡ್, ನನ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಯಿಲ್, ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು
ಡಬ್ಬಾ ಡಕೋಟಾ ಆಯಿಲ್.
ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ.
ಈಗ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಅದ್ಭುತ. ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ನ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಎಣ್ಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್, ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರಿ.
ಜೊತೆಗಿದೆ ಬಳಿಗಳ ಸತ್ತಿದೆ, ಸಿಂಗಾರ ಜೊತೆಗಿದೆ, ಸಿಂಗಾರ ಜೊತೆಗಿದೆ.
ವೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ನ ಒಕೇಶನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೊಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಏಕ್ತಾ ದ ವೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೈ ಆರಾ.
ಗ್ರಾಹಕರ ಪ್ರೀತಿಗೆ ಬಂಟ್ವಾಳ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ವಿನ್ನರ್ಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟದ USFDA ಪಟ್ಟ.
10 ಅಲ್ಲ 20 ಅಲ್ಲ 80 ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಏಕೈಕ ವಿನ್ನ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ವಿನ್ನ.
ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ತಿಂಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತಮ ಆಹಾರ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿರಿಧಾನ್ಯದಿಂದ ತಯಾರಾದಂತ ಆಹಾರ.
ಗರಿಗರಿಯಾದ ಮಸಾಲ ದೋಸೆ, ರಾಗಿ ದೋಸೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಡ್ಲಿ, ಪಡ್ಡು, ಉಪ್ಪಿಟ್ಟಿನ ಜೊತೆ ಚಪಾತಿ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಸಹ ಜೀನಿ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆನ್ಪಿರ್ಲಿ, BP ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜೀನಿ ಕುಡಿಯಿರಿ.
ಮಾನವ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ರೇಷ್ಮೆ ನೂಲಿನಂತೆ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಬಟ್ಟೆಗೆ ನೇಯಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಟಿಎನ್ಸಿ ರಮನಾಥ್ ರಾಜ್. ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಳು ಹೃದಯದ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಸೆಯುತ್ತದೆ.
My dear viewers, you are all welcome to our show Impact of Union Budget 2025 on Indian economy. After the break, we have three experts and resource persons with us: CA DB Mehta, economic expert; CA Prashant GS, practicing chartered accountant, as well as state convener of economic cell BJP Karnataka, and Shri Rajesh Rao M, economic and banking expert. You are all welcome to the show after the break. Now we were discussing about capex. CA DB Mehta, this NDA since 2014 budget, more emphasis is given for investment in capex rather than giving money in the hands of people directly. Instead of giving a fish for a hungry man, how to make fishing. So that is the concept. So what is the thinking and theme behind this outlay, more outlay earmarked for capex? Can you just brief on it? And what are its aftermath effects?
See, for any economy to grow, infrastructure is a must. And earlier the infrastructure investment compared to GDP was hovering at around 1% to 1.2%, say 2 decades back. Now it has been pushed to around 3.1% of GDP, which is still half of the global average. Global average capex is 6% of GDP. So we still have a long way to go. To create the world class infrastructure, you need to spend up to 6% of your GDP. Having said that, the capex expenditure in the last few years has gone up almost 4 times than what it was in the say first tenure of NDA. Last year, the budget had provided for 11.1 crores for capex and 1.5 crores for long-term interest-free subsidy to the state governments for capex. But because of this central election and all, government could not spend the entire amount. It could only spend 10.1 lakhs on capex, and I think for the state government it could give only 1.25 lakh crore loans for capex. So there was a shortfall compared to the budget estimates.
1 lakh crore, no? This time 1.5 lakh.
So 1 lakh crore was the shortage there. This year the capex for the central government is 11.2 lakh crores. So compared to the revised estimate, it is 10% up. Compared to budget estimate, it is virtually the same. The interest-free long-term subsidy, long-term loan to the state government, in the last budget also it was 1.5 lakh crore. Actual amount given was 1.25 lakh crore. Again 1.5 lakh crore has been proposed in this budget. So if you look at it from that perspective, there is no incremental budgeted allocation in the capex in the current year. But if you look at it from the actual amount revised estimates, there is a 10% increase.
Chief Economic Advisor has also told private sector should participate in capex because they are swimming in profits. That is the word which exactly they have made.
See, if you recall, a few years back, corporate income tax was, the rate of taxation was reduced, primarily with generating private capex in mind. Unfortunately, it has not happened. Why it has not happened? The reason is very simple. When the tax relief was given, most corporates were sitting on capacity utilization of 70 to 75% only. So there is no point in increasing the capex when you are already having an underutilization of your capacity. You know, so the tax relief that was given, possibly that was little premature. You know, now with the last couple of years, good economic growth, capacity utilization has come to almost 85 to 88%. Still, private sector is not in a mood to increase capex because now the world global economy is slowing down. So, keeping that in mind, they do not want to commit more money and then have again spare capacity and convert profits into losses.
Then PPP model?
PPP model was always there. It was there in the road infrastructure and other infrastructure. What is to be seen is whether it can be expanded in areas where it didn't exist earlier. Say like running private railways, only one train is running on the PPP model basis. There should be more trains running on the PPP model. There should be more airports coming directly, greenfield airports coming under the PPP model. There should be more greenfield major ports coming under PPP model. There should be more highways instead of hybrid model should come under the PPP model. The problem with the highways PPP model is the local political support for not paying toll amount. You must have seen every local area, whenever a toll booth is put up, there is a protest by the local people, local politicians join the protest, and the collection is postponed. That should not happen because PPP model, if they don't get revenue, how are they going to survive? So, the PPP model was always part of the government policy. The proof of its being successfully implemented is at the ground level, political parties, because different states will have different political parties, different ideologies, they will not be in sync. Even if you see privatization of the airports, even though it was, say like Kerala, even there was an open, transparent bidding process under which Adani won the Cochin International Airport. Still it was cancelled, and then Adani had to go to the courts and all that. So PPP model, politicians have to come on board, and they should not accuse that it has gone to corporate A or corporate B or Adani or Ambani or whosoever that corporate house may be. If once it is done under the transparent method and it's a global tender, it should be allotted, implemented and executed successfully. No politics should get into PPP model.
Okay. Mr. Prashant, as CA Mehta told, see, because of federal structure, so there are some what we can say that some impediments in the growth of implementation of the project. Is it correct? Because when central wants to do some projects, state should also participate. Their cooperation is also required. They should work in tandem, without which it is not possible. So last year nearly 1 lakh crore has been revised down, that capex. And this year 11.20 crore means when compared to the revised capex, it is an increase. Otherwise, when compared to the original 11,11,11 crores, correct no? So 11.20 crores. How this effective utilization will be done this year, and how it will impact and how it will contribute for the growth of the economy?
Yes, now taking over from Mr. Mehta, where he spoke about a lot of state governments not supporting the initiatives, see, which is where we have to look at the country as a whole and say Bharat has to prosper. If each individual state, especially the non-BJP ruled states, are taking a position which is contrary to or which is against the nation's interest, they are willing to take a position which is against India, but saying that no, BJP's policy should not be done, which is actually wrong. I'm not making this statement as a representative of BJP, but as a common man, I can make a statement that look, any state government, irrespective of whichever party in power, should look at the nation's progress and what can that state's contribution be in the progress of the country. Each state must compete within with other state to say how much am I contributing more to the nation, rather than saying I will stall a particular project. As Mr. Mehta explained, Kerala is a classic case wherein you have doled out freebies, you have ensured that industries don't come in there, and where people have taken the chance to put in money and you want to block them, citing political reasons, which is why probably our growth, which should have been more than 8%, we are projecting 6.4 to 6.8, considering only these aspects, or else we would have definitely gone ahead with the 8% growth model. And on the capex, yes, 11,000 crores was earmarked when the budget came through Finance Number 2 Act in July 2024. So therefore, for the first 4 months, say April to July, because when the interim budget was taken up, it was a vote on account that you will spend only for essential things and not for developmental activities, because code of conduct was in place. So therefore, due to the general elections coming in and various state elections where code of conduct would have come in, the capex could not be achieved, which is why we are now proposing one nation, one election, wherein all the states, all the assemblies and Lok Sabha should go to polls simultaneously, so that if any development work is stalled, it is stalled only for that 2 or 3 month period, and there is after that, throughout the tenure of 4.5 plus years, you will not have stoppage of development work citing elections, which is why one nation, one election will be a good mechanism to ensure that development is not stopped citing election and code of conduct. And definitely the current year 11.2 lakh crores which has been earmarked, which will be on the cusp of spending, and government will do all within its reach to ensure that infrastructure is given a good positioning. And I also agree with Mr. Mehta that yes, probably on the compared to the global average of 5 to 6%, we have catching up to do, but I'm sure by the end of this term of NDA 3, we would have probably hit that target as well to reach 5 to 6% of GDP in terms of infrastructure growth.
Excellent.
Or rather, infrastructure allocation in terms of capex.
Okay. Rajesh Rao.
Some of the budget proposals I will tell this.
Okay.
The first one is the asset monetization scheme policy for the next 5 years. Earlier from 21-22 to 25 for the last 3 years, there was a 6 lakh crore target, and that has been achieved now. It is exceeding also by 10-15,000 crores. So next 5 years it will be 2 lakh crores per month, 10 lakh crores. So that will give money to the government. It is payment upfront by the private, the buyers.
Okay.
It is not transfer of assets, it is just usage of the asset, the revenue sharing will be done. The second thing is Maritime Development Fund of 25,000 crores. It is funding for shipbuilding activity. Shipbuilding is a major lacuna in the maritime sector of India. We take ships on lease. So we are going to
containers are also in shortage.
So we are going to build ships and containers. For that 25,000 crores have been kept. It's funding by the government with private participation. And one more very important thing is all central ministers have given targets for PPP model funding of infra projects. So it's a 3-year project. They have to give a presentation, and that will be implemented. So all ministers are given this responsibility. Then regarding power sector reforms, 0.5% additional borrowing powers are given if there are reforms. It was done earlier also, but it is continued now.
Okay.
Then there is the Urban Challenge Fund, 1 lakh crore. That is directly going to the development of 2-tier, 3-tier cities.
Urban infrastructure.
There, if they are bankable projects, they will give 25% funding by this thing.
Okay.
And rest of 50% of the things will be by bonds or raising funds. So then there is a nuclear reactors. There is a new addition. It will be for green energy thing. So 10 more nuclear reactors will be operational in the next 5 to 6 years. Then there is 1 lakh dwelling units that are to be completed by central government funding. 51 crores have been allotted to that.
This will all give boost
to
the
infrastructure.
Okay. Mr. Mehta, now the matter of concern is out of that budget expenditure, nearly 20% goes for interest payment. and 8% it goes for defense, and 6% for subsidy, and central sector scheme 16%, state share of taxes is 22%, finance commission and other transfer 8%, centrally sponsored scheme 8%, and other expenditure 8%, pension 4%. The major amount goes for interest payment, whether it will come down gradually or it will increase, and is it not a matter of concern? When the interest rates are going up, this is a matter of concern. No, this interest outlay will also increase.
See
how this can be addressed?
See, the payment of interest, you can look at it from two different perspectives. One is percentage of the total expenditure, which you say 20%. One is the percentage of the total revenue collected. Because expenditure, we borrow money and we spend also. So the correct parameter to see interest payment will be compared to the revenue. It is 36%. It is not 20%. Because revenue generation, even in this budget, is pegged at 35 lakh crores. And expenditure is pegged at 50.65 lakh crores. So 37% interest payment is high, but as per the World Bank and IMF, up to 40% interest payment of revenue expenditure is within the threshold of debt GDP, or what you call not falling in the debt trap. So we are still not in a debt trap. Okay. Now if you look at the central government debt versus the GDP.
State government also, if you add.
State government, if you add, we are at 85% to GDP. Only central government.
That is debt to GDP.
Debt to GDP.
We are in a comfortable position.
See, as per the world norms, above 80% you are going in debt trap. So we are slightly above 80%, and this extra borrowing which states are doing to give all this freebies is a matter of concern for both the central government and for India's growth.
What is the debt to GDP ratio of US?
US would be around 150%. Japan is around 275%. China is 130%. Europe would be around 200%.
Germany, everywhere.
200%.
So they are all living in debt then.
But why they can live in debt? Because their currency is held as a value. Indian rupee outside India is not held as a value.
Correct.
So if your currency is held as a value outside your country, you can definitely borrow more money from within and invest it outside. Indian rupee can only be borrowed within India and invested in India. And if you borrow too much within India, inflation will skyrocket.
Okay.
So that concern is not there for some of these global currencies. So the new method of looking at debt to GDP is now not the fiscal deficit, but debt GDP ratio. Because debt GDP ratio is a cumulative figure in which way the economy is going. If there are economic shocks, how to raise the debt for that temporary period like it happened in COVID. So right now it is 57%. They are planning to bring it down to say around 50-51% by 2031.
Okay.
Now
Rajesh Rao, the thing is now fiscal deficit challenge. The fiscal deficit, what is the ideal fiscal deficit? And now of course we could achieve that whatever target, and we have instead of 4.9% this year 24-25 it has been 4.8%, and next year instead of 4.5% it is 4.4%, and by 26-27 their plan is to bring to 4%. What is your opinion?
By 29 the target is 3%.
Okay.
Fiscal deficit target. And if you see the it has come down in the last 3 years. For example, it was 16.5 lakh crores. Today it has come down to 15.70 lakh crores. So another one interesting, one positive thing about this deficit is we are going to become a revenue surplus nation in another 2 years. Now the revenue deficit, it has come down from 2.6% 2 years back, it is now 1.5%. And another statistics, effective revenue deficit is also there. That is after deducting the grants to the states. There it is 0.8%. So effective revenue deficit will next year or the year after, it will come down to zero. So this is a positive thing.
So the good thing in this budget is
now one more
subsidies
caller
are-
is there,
Yeah.
and now it is time to close also. Let us quickly attend the call and close with the closing remarks. Hello.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಾನು ಸೂರ್ಯಕಾಂತ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಿನಿಂದ.
ಸೂರ್ಯಕಾಂತ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಫ್ರಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್. ಕೇಳಿ, ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿ.
ಹೌದು, ಇದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಡಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣದೊಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇದು ಈಗ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈ TDS ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೌಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಅದು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ?
ಯಾವುದು ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಸನಾ?
ಹೌದೌದು, ಅಲ್ಲ ಹೌದು, TDS ಫಾರ್ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನೋ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ.
Okay. Prashant, you can quickly brief about rationalization of TDS, TCS and what is there for senior citizens?
Yes. So what has happened in terms of interest income for senior citizens? Earlier, you had TDS being done by the banks if the interest was more than 50,000 in a year.
Now it is enhanced
that
to
is
1
gone.
lakh.
It's been increased to 1 lakh.
For senior
For
citizens.
most senior citizens, if you have say at 7% rate of interest or 8% for senior citizens, it translates to 1 lakh up to 50. If you have about 12 lakhs in your savings and 8% on that, you will not have TDS by the bank, which means monthly 8,000 rupees will be tax free for you. And lot of TDS rates have been rationalized. And in terms of a housing rent, you had the limit of 2,40,000 per year. Now they have made it 50,000 per month or part of month, which means you can't look at it as 6 lakhs per year. But if your monthly rent is less than 50,000 and overall it continues less than that, you will not be affecting TDS at all. Whereas the old limit was 2,40,000 a year, which was translating into 20,000 per month. And even for other TDS clauses where you had certain issues coming up in terms of solving it. For horse race, how do you have the aggregate? For lottery and crossword, how do you have it? Now they brought it rationalized to say 10,000 for each transaction. So therefore, there's a lot which is being done in
For
terms
professionals,
of
30,000 limit has been enhanced to 50,000 professionals.
Yes, TDS for under 194J, which was 30,000 limit, has gone up to 50,000. And for enhanced compensation also under 194 LA, what was 2,50,000
lakhs to 5
stands
lakhs.
enhanced to 5 lakhs. So therefore, the rate rationalization has happened, and wherever certain provisions were overlapping between TDS and TCS, the TCS provision has been omitted, wherein you will not be affecting TDS and TCS both. So therefore, it has given a lot of impetus to the financial sector, wherein the compliance burden comes down, wherein you need not have too many compliances with TCS and TDS both. So they have rationalized it, and definitely it's a good move.
Because the work of TDS is very tedious. That is the reason it has been rationalized. Now closing remarks, please. It is the time to wind up. Closing remarks within a minute.
I would consider this budget as a growth-oriented budget, a big relief for the middle class. Middle class in India are paying lower taxes than middle class anywhere in the world. That's the scenario, which is very welcome. We could have seen more second generation reforms, which possibly will come in installments over the year, because now this NDA government does not look at budget as the only event where all the reforms can be done. So like tax reforms will be announced a little later.
FM has also told
regulatory
country is not only soil, it is a people.
Regulatory reforms is
It's
also
a people's budget, you say?
It's a people's budget, definitely.
Rajesh Rao.
All four sectors of any economy, Indian economy, agriculture, industry, service, exports, all are going to improve in the next 5 years. And it is a growth-oriented budget. It's a policy-making budget. So it is a
path-breaking
It's
budget.
a path-breaking budget.
Okay. Prashant, can you have your closing remarks in a minute?
Yes, I also concur with your statement about what the FM stated, saying that Desham ante matti kaadoi, Desham ante manshiloi. So then the human capital has been given great emphasis, wherein respect for every section of the society is also at the forefront, wherein you want to have these gig workers coming under the e-Shram portal. On the one hand, you have education, which is given good impetus. You have healthcare, which has been taken care of. Defense, FDI. You take a sector, that sector has got its impetus, especially Khelo India. The budget allocation for Khelo India has increased to 900 crores from about 560 3 or 4 years ago, wherein, so which means due emphasis is given to all sectors and at all stages, which means every citizen of the country is being benefited by this budget, and definitely it's a forward-looking budget, thought-provoking one, and we can say it's a dream budget of the middle class. Probably in the history of independent India, the middle class would have never cheered up so much compared to all the previous budgets.
Dream come true budget, not dream budget. Dream came through budget.
Yes, the dreams have been fulfilled.
Through. Okay.
In pursuit of Viksit Bharat, this is one of the first steps, wherein you keep everybody on the ground. You have more disposable income. They can spend more. It comes back into consumption, and overall the economy grows.
Okay.
So therefore, this is a budget for Viksit Bharat 2047.
Now, let us conclude. Before concluding, we have two, what we can take, chutukus. For poor, it's super. For middle class, it is bumper. For farmers, it made richer. For MSMEs, it's winner. For India's economy, it's booster. Union Budget 2025 is really a game changer. So, in Sanskrit also we can say, Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu, Raitapi Vargaha Traptaha Bhavantu, Madhyama Vargaha Ati Sukhino Bhavantu. So, with this closing remarks, viewers, do you have any confusion about budget, economy, banking, or that is taxation? We have solution in our business tonic. So, this is time to wind up. Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu, Samasta Sanmangalani Bhavantu. I am CASS Nayak signing off. Thank all the resource persons for spending your valuable time as well as your valuable foresights and disseminating knowledge with our viewers, CA DB Mehta, CA Prashant GS and Rajesh Rao M. Thank you very much for spending your 1.5 hours, 90 minutes time, quality time with our viewers. Thank you very much.
SCDCC ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MN ರಾಜೇಂದ್ರ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸಾರಥ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ಸತತ 19 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಪೆಕ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, 18 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ನಬಾರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಪುರಸ್ಕೃತ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಏಕೈಕ ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಉಡುಪಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳ ಜನರ